and Cosfol.
Just not the
Order works.
okay.
So right now, I'm the only thing standing between you and fear. So I'll move this along fairly quickly. And I realize why Kevin put me last is because I'm sort of the case study for everything that you've been hearing today. And not necessarily in a good way, but it'll reveal itself. So Journey Sales, again, it's a technology startup in Villanova, Pennsylvania. They have been in business about 3 years. I've been with them for about a year. And they are building a sales enablement platform, which is something sort of brand new. They don't really exist yet. The challenge of a new emerging field and a new emerging product is if you don't get it right, you're going to burn out quickly. And if you do get it right, you're going to make billions of dollars. Some of the founders and some of the people who started the company have been through 8 startups. They know what they're doing. They know how to do this. Our board of directors is really betting on those people. Like that's why they put their money into this firm. But I'll tell you where we are now. So, B2B marketing. So that really started in the 1990s. You're all familiar with it. SEO, SEM, content marketing, all of those things. It's still growing at an astronomical rate, right? It is it's making a lot of money for a lot of people. It created jobs that never existed before. It gave people power that was like outrageous. Marketing became this whole new thing. So many websites I worked on, design got booted to the curb when SEO came along. I mean, that was all powerful thing, right? It was you had to do it or you were going to die. So that's how important digital marketing is. It continues to be that important. So, and again, you're all familiar with these things. It became an inbound and an outbound process so that you could really start gauging your customers' engagement with what was of interest to them. What were they opening? All of those kinds of things. So, So while B2B marketing has grown, B2B sales has not. There is a huge disconnect, an unknown journey between where the buyer starts as a lead and how you close them as a customer. There's many points of failure. Everybody has their own secret sauce. All of those things are happening. And they're happening in this black hole of sales because everybody is going to sell differently. They all, they're going to do it their own way. They may have a CRM they use, they may have an application they use, but they're all going to do it their own way. Problem is, we have stalled pipeline. The majority of stalled pipeline in organizations is over 50%. Salespeople themselves are only ever working on deals that are closing. They're not filling their pipeline. They think marketing is, but marketing's not filling their pipeline either. So they have no way to keep people engaged through that whole sales cycle until they become interested in them at the end. Part of the problem with B2B sales right now is the information and communication process. There's a lack of communication within sales teams, within buying teams, and between the sales and the buying team. And this is because everybody's using something else. You're searching for that email that you sent somebody. I'm getting your information off of LinkedIn. Have you updated LinkedIn? I don't know. I don't even know if you're still at that company. So there's just so much going on. So what's happening now is B2B sales is now going through its big transformation. This is a new field. I mean, what do you think, Erin? It's not over 2 years old, right? It's just starting. There are companies that are, again, they're going to be the leaders in this. GE has created a whole department around this right now. There's a really good webinar that Kate did that I can actually send to you guys if you want to see it. But it all talks about what's it going to take to have B2B sales have a digital experience, because it's never had one before. So the transformation is obvious. I mean, you've all seen these things, you all know them. Customers are centric now. So it's not about a customer, it's not about a business's product anymore, it's about the customer. Customers are doing their own research. So by the time they do their research, they're ready to go into the buying cycle with you. So you have to keep up with them, but you need to know where they are in that buying cycle by the time you get there. The customer buying teams are huge now. They go anywhere between 7 to 9 people. Generally, as a salesperson, you have your one contact in that company, and that one contact has to shepherd you through to the other 9. And that doesn't always happen, and it takes a hell of a long time. One of the things that you really have to do is promote the customer's outcome. It's not about your great product. They don't care about your great product. They have a need. They need a solution. Are you going to bring them a solution? And that's how it has to go. It's not about always be closing. It's about always be connecting. So salespeople are also taking on a cultural change that they're not ready for. So introducing Journey Sales. So Journey Sales was created in a product called Smart Rooms, and it's to address all 3 major areas within sales. It takes you through sales development, it can keep you engaged with your clients through account management, and it also provides partner engagement functionality. So think about insurance companies and the broker having their own rooms to sell to somebody else, higher education, those kinds of things. But you know what? This is a huge thing to bite off. When you're 2 years in the field, in an emerging market, with a new product, to try to fix all 3 of these things, you're not going to be able to do it. You'll try, but you're not going to be able to do it. So it's anticipated that the Smart Room is going to help you with your customers' engagement. So we're going to create with you a personalized room that is for your customer. It can be branded for your customer. It can look like your customer's site, but it's going to have the information that you want to give that customer. What you can do then is you can see how that customer is interacting in that Smart Room. All right, so it's a great thing. I can see who's coming in, when they're coming in, how often they're coming in. I'm going to pick people that I want to collaborate with. What I'm hoping is that you're going to bring your colleagues into that room, and we're all going to collaborate. So it becomes a huge collaboration space, very successful that way. Are we giving the best message and the right content for the kind of solution that this customer is looking for? So very rarely does one company have one product solution. They have a whole bunch of different solutions. So you want to see what your customer is targeting in that room. And then again, the analytics. Who was in, when they were in, what did they look at, those kinds of things. You're going to want to know that. So when you start talking to them, you're talking to them at the point in time of where they are in their journey. So the expectation of the Smart Rooms is, the sales rep creates the room. What we do is we create templates for them, and they just create a room for their accounts or their opportunities right from sales. So all of these rooms just sort of pop up. It takes about 5 seconds to make them. They invite people, they have this content, they can unlock content, they can comment on content, all of those kinds of things. Dashboard metrics. Customers, we want them to come in this Smart Room. The more they come in, the more the sales rep engages, the more the customer engages. The customer can invite other customers. So it's this, sort of ongoing cycle. From our perspective, it's a challenge. We have a couple of different users here. So we have the sales rep who is the user. And we have an end customer to that sales rep who is the user. And we use our rooms, our Smart Rooms, to sell, like, Brian, you have your business. We're going to sell you Smart Rooms to sell your product to the end customer. So we have this, whisper down the lane thing going all the time. So from a development perspective, we spend a lot of time on products, the beta and the beyond. Really figuring out what the purpose of this product is going to be. We couldn't even find the right market for a while, and that's when we realized the market didn't exist. What was the timing of those critical features? And other product alignment. Again, we are built on Salesforce. That eliminated a lot of hassle with security. It gave us access to an ATM for our API to a CRM, so that when somebody pulls up the Smart Room, all of their contacts come with it. if somebody adds someone to a smart room, it goes back into their sales force. So there was a lot of back and forth. Think DocuSign, think SharePoint, all of those integrations. Our customers, friends and family, we always start with them. You know, any of those close connections, referrals that you can get, people who are going to be kind in the beginning. The design input was current market examples, LinkedIn, Facebook, God forbid they even said Pinterest at one time. We used teams knowledge. They hired people who had knowledge of different things. I'm embarrassed to say, friends, they thought that I had enough user experience to find it out. We use in-house experts. So again, our CEO and our VP of sales each individually have 25 years of technology sales experience. So those are our in-house experts. The comment, anything is better than nothing, came up time and time and time again. User input with money. Okay? So, the big reveal, our beta version. Lovely. Right? But we did the things that we wanted to do. Okay, I wasn't here for this version. All right, so did that figure it out? That means we have no engagement. No one's coming into the room. We can have a discussion. We can see the people in the room. We have all of this information behind these magical tabs. And here's the information that they can look at. So, end result of the beta version, no user adoption. None whatsoever. So, in comes the new UI. Our board of directors gave us Series A funding only to do the new UI. That's all they were going to do. Major effort was on design, not UX. There's always that disconnect between design and the developers, the design and the build. Sort of major components that became designed for a page that wasn't always obvious that that same functionality should continue throughout the application. So some things that we think are obvious, like you anchor the headers, so that when you're scrolling down a page, you can see where you're supposed to be. Those things didn't exist when we were going through this. And the new code base required, or there was a new code base that was required for the UI. I don't know what the code base is, but it was antiquated enough that they needed to redo that as well. So we did work with a design firm. We worked with Think Brownstone. And they gave us some concepts. Again, no UX, this was just design. And Jack, what's it to your point? If you just make it look better, it'll work better? Yeah. Okay. So, working on the dashboard, which we did not have a dashboard at all. You know, the smart room being like a single scrolling page with sections that will scroll you down. A better people page where you can invite and engage with people. Because that's what we want to do, is people, content, collaboration. So, sir, I'm touching the wrong one too. New discussion page, and now we have it, right? So now we are directionally set for where we're going to go. So, our current version, again, we took the majority of those design recommendations and we moved forward with them. So we do have our dashboard now. And our dashboard gives us a great big button now for how to create a smart room. We have a lot of filtering along here. You can click into any one of these numbers and get the accounts or opportunities that are under there. You know, the colors are coded to be whether it's active, getting slower, those kinds of things. You can see who some of your users are, when the last time they were in, you know, your smart room over here. So there's a lot more actionable information here, which is great. The other thing that we did is we introduced a little bit of a CSS so that people could start branding this and making it look like their own. Again, we've added some very kind of Facebooky, LinkedIn kind of thing too, where we can share content. We can see sort of the last piece of comments that were made. So again, trying to make this easier. Our left nav is just right here. this whole section here are people, either the selling team or the buying team that are in the room. So you can see people immediately, as well as get a quick look as to their green. They've had 15 interactions in this room. They're one of my key people that I need to focus on. Discussion page, this is just Salesforce Chatter that's been rebranded and called something else, but we have a way to add links to it now. People can, reply, and we have found collaboration to be the biggest thing in the smart rooms that helps with customer engagement. We have a journey page, which is really a timeline, but again, we're trying to coin these terms. So with the journey page, we have sort of the side-by-side that gives us a cause and effect relationship of, if I am a sales rep and I do these things, what's happening on the client side? Is anything dragging them into these rooms sort of again and again and again that we need to continue to look at? Did some cool analytics. So these are all of my users. And this is the journey page down here as you go down, and these are the analytics for the individual. If you put into anybody, you will just see their information and their journey. So if I find out again that Kevin is really active in my room and I just want to see what Kevin's doing, I just click on Kevin. The other thing that we heard again and again with the room were, okay, I have a room up, but I don't know what to do with it now. Well, the reality is, from a sales rep perspective, you would do the same thing that you always do in your emails and your phone messages, things like that, but they could not make that mental shift between this is how I do business and this is just the same thing, it's in a different place. They just could not do that. So we created what's called a playbook. So with each template that we build a playbook, they create the room, the playbook comes with them. So they get notified based on the timeline of the playbook, either through activity, inactivity, or guided plays, what they're supposed to be doing in that room at that time. So we sort of help them out with that. So clearly, now we have to have it, right? It looks so much better. People can find things, lots of discussion, lots of opportunity. So there's no reason why we can't get this whole thing going. Except there are 3 to 5 different approaches to create a smart room between Salesforce and smart room, and we don't know where those reps are at what time. So if I'm trying to teach a rep how to do something different, but I have to show them 5 different ways that different means, I've lost them already. Inviting people, these rooms are about opportunities. I have an opportunity with a client and I want to move it through. But I'm going to pull all of your names from your account. Well, we have customers that have accounts at GSK, P&G, Johnson & Johnson. They might have 100 names in there. So what happens is they have to scroll through all of these names in the account, pick somebody, and then it starts at the beginning again. And so I don't work on anyone who has like an S name, because it's all the way at the end of the list. Adding content, one of the key pieces to the sales cycle for your contracts, all of those things. To add a piece of content to a smart room takes a sales rep 19 clicks. And no sales rep is going to do that. The discussions, again, discussions are king for getting people into the room. But you know what? We can't tag them. We can't sort them. We can't search on them. And when you have a sales cycle that is over a year long, those discussions that started in the beginning are so far gone, you're never going to look at them again. And the dashboard, I don't know. We don't know. No one's ever looked at it but us. So we don't know. Some of the challenges that we posed for ourselves were with those smart plates. We sold a program to our customers called Fast Launch. We'll come in, or somebody else in your company can come in, and for all of your cold leads or your stalled pipeline, we'll run 3 months worth of these smart plays and just keep trying to get people engaged. And we'll do this sort of engagement management. Well, what that did was we created a new role in Salesforce where Salesforce was recognized and doesn't exist. So we sold something that's not really ready. So we have to train around it, jerry-rig around it, give people permissions that they should not have, or tell the engagement manager for Eric that he has to log in as all the different sales reps so he can run their smartphones. The thing that we never address is all the administrative things. How do you build a template? How do you load the library? How do you do all of those things? How do you do it smartly? And I can tell you, as a person who does a lot of those, not fun. Okay? I still believe and love in this product. I think, again, it's just taking up some challenges to get there. So really, a lot of this comes down to the time, cost, and effort, right? So for the beta version, we had 3 people in the company. They were all private investors. We needed to be quick to market. We used those sales experts because that's what we had at the time. And this is all owner-funded. It was just the money that went into the business. The UI version, we totally underestimated the time that was going to take. It was probably about 8 months late, which we lost a whole year of then selling that updated product. We did use some UI consulting, and the cost came from the Series A funding. The UX version, unfortunately, they're planning on 2 months deployed, and nobody can keep up with 2 months deployed. I mean, we can't, our customers can't. There really has to be a consideration about the level of productivity that is going to come as a result of that change. Unfortunately, right now, we are in need of these changes, but I can see our customers are now exhausted by us. They're tired of us coming at them with all these great new features because they just want to, get some work done. For the UX, we will again only be using internal experts, unfortunately, and it will be company funded at this point. So some of the things that we really learned from the product, it's not about the purpose of the product, it's about the value. Okay? We have to bring that value to people. It's solution-based. First couple of years we went out with these are our features. They don't care what our features are. They want to know that we can get them up to speed faster, we can close deals for them faster, and we can fill their pipeline faster. And again, what is time and effort, and what are we getting out of all of these releases? From a customer perspective, we're actually starting some marketing. We did not have marketing for a while, and actually I was pretty pleased about that. The whole company was pretty pleased about that because we really didn't have a product to market yet. Now that we have, not the bad, but we're getting there, now that we have something to market, we'll start looking at marketing. Network references and market insight expert and owners. Again, the person who owns Journey Sales, Bill Butler, the plan is to own that market, to be the expert in that market, to build that market, to grow that market. He may have a product that comes along with that, but he's sort of going to be the godfather of this. The design input, again, any internal design contributions at this point are a net negative. I hate when they give us recommendations because they're way too close to the product, they're way too skilled, they make excuses for the things that it doesn't do right. We're training sales reps to be like sales rep 101, and these guys are up at 401. They have learned that a better UI does not make a usable app, and they also learned that something is not better than nothing. Because what happened is nobody used it, right? So that was hard to figure out. User input, again, we know we need UX efforts. We just don't know how we're going to get them yet. We are going to be forming and going back to user groups and executive oversight groups. So we're going to start bringing our customers to us, and we're going to start doing some of those kinds of things, implementing a feedback loop. But, all of that takes a lot of time and effort, and it doesn't impact the product right away. And that's it. Thank you.